Hello everybody, welcome back. So yeah, I've not made a video in a few days. Probably, it was like Saturday, I think, the last time I made a video. Feeling it absolutely pretty rough. I've got some kind of stomach bug. Obviously, because I've got two kids, and that one goes to school, one goes to nursery. So my house is like a petri dish, and yeah, this one's knocked me out. So hopefully I'll be able to feel a bit better tomorrow and do the live stream. Otherwise, I might have to knock that one on the head. So this is the deal with Bitcoin, from what I can see, and like I say, I mean it's still the same as I was saying before. In the short term, things are in the at the mercy of the dollar. The dollar is continuing with its strength. Does look like it wants to break out today. We've got to see how this one closes, but it's been a steady away uptrend since we've got this golden cross back down here. Fine retest of that, steady away, being supported on the 10 exponential here. So everything's looking pretty good, and this is your resistance box. And if we're outside of this one, this does lend itself to an actual breakout. Now, we obviously like crypto, so I don't want you to look at this in the form of a crypto chart. It's not going to go massively sky high, but there are certain levels that I would expect it to be to meet. And the next level would be this 200 exponential on the weekly here, which is about 94.1 or 94.2. Worst case scenario, we go all the way up to the weekly here, the weekly top of the Bollinger Band, so 94.35. So a fair distance for a dollar, I have to say. For the Dixie, it's a fair distance. Now, for whatever reason, if this does go to turbo bullish mode, this is a very strong resistance over here. Multi-year trend line of resistance, also the top of the cloud for the moment. Now, I've said it before, this chart is likely to get rejected from either the 94.1 or the 95 area around here. But once that's rejected, we'll have to keep a very close eye on the dollar, because the chart generally on the long term, we'll look back at the weekly, and we'll look at the monthly actually. On the long term, it's looking like it wants to continue with an uptrend. Now on the monthly here, we are at the 20 monthly moving average here. Big deal. We've not tested this since we broke down all the way over here. June, since the money printing really picked up into full force. So now it becomes more obvious, doesn't it, when we look at a chart like this, and that things are changing. And not that Bitcoin and crypto can't pump while the Dixie's pumping. Of course it can. I mean, it's held up quite well in all respects. It's held up quite well so far, despite the dollar going up in value since when did this big pump really start? Since June. So I mean, it's been doing okay in comparison to stocks, precious metals, and things like that, and it's held its value relatively well despite going into a downtrend. But I do feel as though next year is likely to be a bullish year for the dollar. So let's have a look at good old Bitcoin on the weekly. So weekly, we're still holding up above the 20 weekly, also the 41,000, which is fine for now. Like I say, the chart's not the worst thing you've ever seen in the world. We have a red. And again, this isn't closed yet. This is a weekly read in that's being formed at the moment. It doesn't have to end like this. What are we, Tuesday? We've got we've got many. We've got 5 more days to go before this is set in stone. But it is a negative tick on the histogram so far. Rejection on the 10 exponential is not looking particularly good. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I don't forget. I do not think I'll be able to do a live stream if I feel like this. And so yeah, at the moment it's we're pretty much sitting on support. So breaking out with the dollar, sitting at weekly support on Bitcoin. If we break down from here, I think we will slice through these moving averages quite easily, and the next area of significant resistance is going to be this triangle formation that we've got going on here. It's about 35,700 or so. Again, this moves up every week. We could obviously get wicks low, but down to the 33,000 zone, where we've had a very strong significant area of support all the way at the it's not the bottom, it's the middle bottom area. This is the bottom of the accumulation zone, this is the upper bottom area of the accumulation zone. So 33,183 roughly. So just to let you know, I mean, I was saying on the Telegram chat yesterday that just for safety reasons, I've been getting rid of some of my altcoin portfolio. The ones that aren't looking particularly strong, and if it's not looking strong, I don't expect it to be strong. And sometimes you could cut losses or just take profits. A lot of that's been taken into the form of Bitcoin. Some has been taken into actual fiat currency, and Tether, so pounds and Tether. And the thing is, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart now. Okay, so the Bitcoin dominance chart testing this area down here again. Again, this is a multi-year support trend line. Makes more sense on the weekly, right? So we see this. This is where the bear market began. I'm not saying we're in a bear market. I'm just saying that we haven't been down at these levels for a long time. It's 2018. We tested here in the dump. We retested it again. Now, if we have a quick look, we stretch this out, we get rid of some of these. We can see that the 20 weekly on the Bitcoin dominance chart is actually going. It's pretty much horizontal, but it's leveling out. Okay, it's leveling out, and this is the first stage of not being bullish, but opportunity. If we were to reclaim this for the Bitcoin dominance chart on the weekly, it would be a lot easier for this chart to go bullish, right? This has been part of the problem with Bitcoin now. This is the 20 weekly on Bitcoin, and it's basically we are above it, which is always a good place to be, but it's descending, right? It's not an uptrend, it's not even horizontal, right? It's facing down, which means that every time we test it, until it at least goes horizontal, it basically makes a lower low. Whereas you wouldn't have that problem on this 20 weekly here. So that's the weekly, but also if you go to the daily, we can see that we've reclaimed the center of the Bollinger Band here, and I wouldn't really call it particularly an uptrend, but it's gaining strength definitely. And with that in mind, we do have to expect that this will continue to go up. It may not. It may break down. I always underestimate the power of altcoins these days. But with the reaction that we're getting here, similar to the reaction we had here, and bear in mind we had a very, very significant reaction here. I wanted to be very careful, and so I didn't want to hold on to altcoins blindly. I'm never all out and never all in. I've shaved decent portions off my altcoin portfolio, put it into Bitcoins, put some into fiat and some into Tether. I'm still very exposed to the market, but I want to take a few chips off the table with as opposed taking away a fair bit of stress. Because I do expect it to come down a little bit, even if it doesn't, right? Even if it doesn't. I always say, as you'll have heard me on the live streams anyway, when I talk about trading and charts, is like going to the bookies, going to place a bet on a football match. And if the odds are in your favour, that's great. You're likely to win, but there's always a chance that there'll be an upset and that the other team will win. And even though you had a very good odds on your team winning, you actually didn't win. And that is TA in a nutshell, really. And so at the moment, the odds don't look great in either direction. And so you wouldn't really want to place a bet that's 50-50. That would be like a hopeful bet. It's a gamble. And at the moment, it is very much a gamble. And so never be all out, never be all in. But when I don't fancy gambling, especially when I've been making so much over these last few years, it would be sad to see it just go when I knew that there was a large risk in the short term. And remind you that I am talking short term, right? We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. If everything starts to go back into an uptrend, opportunities become ripe. And then we can just start to make a lot of money again. But at the moment, it is really kind of looks like 50-50. And, it could go up and it could go down. But given what I'm expecting with the dollar index, then I think that will have a negative impact in the short term for cryptocurrencies. And so even though it is 50-50, I'm not willing to remain as exposed as I was, but maybe a couple of weeks ago. Right, so I'll leave it with you there. Don't panic, everybody, because once we get that rejection on the Dixie, everything will be okay. In the short term, we can continue with our bull run, right? But for the moment, continue to consolidate what it looks like to me, stab for some lower prices, and we could quite easily have a decent rebound, which then goes into an uptrend. But until we see what the next plan of action is, based for me around the Dixie's strength, and then wherever the rejection takes place on the Dixie, we have to see where we are versus Bitcoin and match the two. Is it a significant support for Bitcoin? Is it a significant resistance for Dixie? And if the two seem to match, then it would suggest, in my opinion, that there is a very good chance of the bottom being in at that point. And at the moment, it's very much wait and see, watch and wait. And if it continues to go up and breaks out of this triangle, you know, this week, excellent. Okay, we'll get back in. There's opportunity all over the place. If it breaks back down, okay, no problem. We were kind of expecting that. But either way, right in the middle of a triangle formation is a 50-50 vibe. Do you know what I mean? And so for this and many other reasons, I think it's time just to sit back and chill and wait and see and watch. I am very much in favour of the entire market working out further to the up and going on to make new all-time highs before long, right? Not going into a bear market. I really don't think we're going into a bear market. Not yet. We will, but not yet. But this might be one final shakeout that we just have to prepare ourselves for. And in order to be completely prepared, I did, get rid of some of these altcoins that just just have not performed. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Massive ramble, like I say, not very well, but I'll try my best to make videos on a daily basis. And for those Patreon members, I am very sorry, but yeah, I don't know if I can sustain a 2-hour live stream tomorrow, but I'll try. I'll see how I go. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.